Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So if you don't know me or are new to my channel, my name is Mandy Nicole. I am a bodybuilder and fitness enthusiast. I'm an online coach, and obviously I'm a vlogger, YouTube vlogger. And besides all the fitness stuff, I am a wife and mother of two, and I'm also a school teacher currently. So I stay pretty busy. One thing that I get a lot of questions about is flexible dieting. I follow a flexible diet, also called If It Fits Your Macros, and you'll see it abbreviated everywhere, like on Instagram and YouTube, all over the internet as IIFYM for short. Clients that I have and people on Instagram ask me a couple of things more often than others, and those are just, what are macros, right? And the bigger question is, for those who already know what they are or what flexible dieting is how do I calculate my macros, or how do I figure out my macros, and how do I know when to adjust them and how much? And that is a much more complex question to answer. However, even though that's part of what I do with my online coaching, with the training and figuring out with you what your macros should be and making adjustments, I think it is important to be able to sort of figure out a baseline, and that's what I'm going to try to point you in the direction of and show you some resources to help you do that. First, I want to address though what are macros, right? It's called If It Fits Your Macros, so obviously that's really important to it. So what macros are, right? There's macronutrients and there's micronutrients, okay? And just like the words, the prefixes, right? Macro means large, okay? So your macronutrients are the nutrients that you take in large quantities, or that you're supposed to, okay? There are 3 macronutrients that you need to know about, and this is what you track. And those are your carbohydrates, right? Your protein and your fat and your fats, okay? And then there's also your micronutrients, okay? Your micronutrients are, obviously micro means small. They're the things that you need to consume in small amounts, and these are like your vitamins and minerals, which is why it's important to take your multivitamin and to eat your fruits and vegetables. And yes, fruits are fine to eat, okay? So a lot of people I know in certain diets, they stay away from the fruit because of sugar and stuff, but it is a really good source of your micronutrients. Okay, so now that we know what our macronutrients are and our micronutrients are, right? There are so many types of diets out there, right? If It Fits Your Macros and flexible dieting is just one of them. One thing I want to say about it though is that you do not have to follow this type of diet to get the results that you want, right? You can be vegan, you can be vegetarian, you can follow a paleo diet, right? You can do clean eating and just follow a strict diet plan, or you can be a flexible dieter and you can still build muscle, you can still lose fat, okay? Not one diet is the one that works and these others don't, right? There are reasons that I follow a flexible diet versus the other kinds, and I want to say a couple things about that. I do think it is life-changing for some people, all right? Flexible dieting, I've been doing it for about 1.5 years, and it was a total life changer for me once I really figured out what I was doing. Okay, and the reason that it is that because I've been able to do it for a year and a half. It allows me flexibility, just like the name, sorry, I have an itch. And it allows me to stick to it long term, right? Whether my goal is to lose fat or to put on muscle, right? I can still follow a flexible diet. I can still enjoy what I'm eating, which is what makes me able to stick to it long term, right? You're not gonna do something that you don't enjoy. You can for short periods of time, but you really have to see that it's working and results, right? And you have to enjoy it. You need to enjoy things that you eat, okay? There's not a thing that I consume in my day that I do not enjoy eating. All right, I can tell you that for sure. Oh, I also wanted to mention Lane Norton. He has been in this industry for a really long time. He is very knowledgeable. He has a bunch of articles written, a lot of videos, and he made a really awesome and interesting video, especially if you like, you know, the scientific stuff, about clean eating versus sort of flexible dieting. And I think I'll put a link to it up here. If not, I'm gonna create a playlist, I think, about flexible dieting, and I will add it into that playlist. He talks about sort of the benefits of both, and you know, there's sort of an argument on which one's better, which one gives you, you know, better results, especially when it comes to bodybuilders who compete. He is also a coach for competitors. And so, anyways, I just think it's a really good video to watch if that is something that interests you. All right, so what I think I want to do next is just show you some things that I eat, all right, that would fall into your carbohydrates, your fats, right, and your proteins, to just show you what some good sources of those are. And this is just some things that like my husband and I eat throughout a week or throughout the day. So I'll show you what those are. Hey guys, can you see me back here? So the first macronutrient group that I wanted to go over was are carbohydrates, right? And things that I typically eat to fulfill my carbohydrates. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that typically people don't really have a problem meeting their carbohydrates for the day once they, you know, figure out what their macros for that should be. So, but here's a couple of examples of things, right, that are gonna help you meet your carbohydrate portions for the day. So your vegetables and your fruits are carbohydrates. They might have other things in them, right? They're also gonna be a main source of your micronutrients. Another thing about fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables, is that you're gonna get more bang for your buck, right? You can eat more volume and use up less of your macros. So if for some reason your carbohydrates are really low, eating a lot of vegetables is gonna be filling, right? And very nutrient dense. So one thing I like to have, this is some baby spinach. I put it in omelets. I also make salads out of it, like with some turkey. I like to make like taco salads. I've got, these are shaved Brussels sprouts. They're really good with some olive oil, some garlic powder, and you know, eat with some sort of protein, maybe some rice or potatoes. Very kind of bro meal there. I do keep some frozen vegetables and fruits. Also, it's just easy to deal with and can last a long time in the freezer sometimes. You know, if you have that problem, you have good intentions, you spend a lot of money buying fresh vegetables and fruits, and then they go bad before you can eat them. So buying some frozen stuff and just always having that on hand is really helpful. These are some onions. Onions are really good in flavoring. I've got a spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is really good for volume and can take the place of like a pasta. If you really want some sort of pasta dish, you can actually put pasta sauce on it, like some tomato sauce, or I also like to also do this with kind of like a butter flavor. Butter spray and garlic powder is really good also. Sweet potatoes and just any potato really, I will make, let's see, I usually have some cauliflower, and I do have some zucchini somewhere. I have a lot of recipes where I use zucchini. I make zucchini noodles. I put zucchini, I mix it with protein like turkey or chicken and make meatballs, or like a hamburger patty out of them. Zucchini is really good and pretty low in carbs, so you can eat a lot of it. Other carbohydrates, you've got your fruits, right? This is some chunked cut up pineapple that I have ready. These are fresh cherries with their pits. I just picked up yesterday at the grocery store. They're in season, which means they're actually affordable right now, which is the only reason that I have them. Bananas, and I also have frozen strawberries in the freezer, and I like to put strawberries in my protein shakes and have kind of a strawberry flavored one also. Tomatoes are a fruit, right? So tomatoes are really good cut up in stuff, or making, you know, pasta sauce, tomato based. So those are your vegetables and the fruits that I have out here. Other sources of carbohydrates, right? You've got bread. Bread is my downfall, right? I can't keep like a loaf of French bread or something around. I will eat it, okay? And the whole loaf will not fit my macros. So hence, you won't really find that at my house. Anything, right, like waffles, pancakes. This is the Kodiak cakes, which actually has more protein, but it also has a lot of carbs. I am a creature of habit, and I make a protein waffle these days pretty much every morning. And so I use like half a serving of these Kodiak cakes and protein powder, mix it with protein powder, and then I top it with my Maple Grove Farms sugar-free butter flavor syrup, which is actually only 6 carbs, and that's all that's in it per serving, and I don't ever even use a whole serving. So that's that. I love cereal. I'm a big fan of this one, Special K protein. It also has more protein than other cereals, but just as much carbs pretty much, especially when you add in the milk, which I usually add in almond milk. Then you get a significant amount of protein. Oatmeal, right? You're gonna get a lot of carbs. Obviously, this is sugar-free, maple and brown sugar. These are just individual packets because, hello, it's easy. And it's already portioned out for you. Rice, yes, definitely lots of carbs in rice. I like white rice, brown rice. This is a chicken flavor rice that you just microwave. Again, easy to do. And a lot of these things, right, some of these things you can make in bulk and have them ready to go. Rice is a good thing to do. Spaghetti squash, just have it ready and like in your fridge. Potatoes, you can make a bunch of potatoes, right? I think I said potato was a vegetable, which I mean, okay, yes, it's in the produce, but you know, it's pretty much, there's not as many nutrients and stuff in it. But anyways, but you can have a lot of potatoes made and in a container in the fridge. And so these are, I guess, sort of my more common, more frequent carbohydrate sources. Okay, I think we are ready now to take a look at common sources of proteins. Okay, so most people, when they think of protein, right, they think of meat. All right, yes, meat is gonna be where you get a lot of your protein. For vegetarians and vegans, there are a lot of other sources these days and alternatives. Some vegetables and stuff, right, even do have slight sources of proteins and stuff. But for me, I am not a vegetarian. I love meat and eat lots of it. So I get most of my protein from either my meat sources or from like supplements like protein powder. So a couple of meats that we commonly use, all right? We use a lot of ground meat. I love ground turkey, and I also have some ground chicken. I like to just sort of brown it on the stove and add some like taco flavors, Mexican flavors to it. For like taco salads, for tacos, for quesadillas, right? There's a lot of possibilities of things that you can combine it with and has lots of flavor. This is 99% lean, so there's very little fat in it. You can buy, obviously the leaner you get, the more expensive it is. Typically people can have an issue reaching their fat early on in the day, and so you know, to help that, buy leaner cuts of meat. They also make extra lean ground beef. This is 96% lean, 4% fat. So my husband makes his turkey. He eats turkey all the time. I've made a video with it called Surgery Day and Chili with Bay, if you want to see what that recipe is and what the macros are for it, how he does it. But he uses extra lean ground beef to do that. Let's see, other sources here. So eggs are a great source of protein. Regular eggs can also be high in fat though. All right. I like to eat a little bit of fat, so I might mix like an egg with some egg beaters or egg whites, right? This has very little fat, or this has no fat, and so do egg whites, all right? But then you can add in a whole egg if you need to get a little bit of fat. Yogurt, all right? Yogurt is a great source of protein. It also has carbs though, and is typically pretty low in fat. So this is 12 grams of protein. This is a Greek yogurt, toasted coconut vanilla flavor. Cheese. I could eat cheese on anything and everything. I have to be careful with cheese, and we have tons of types of cheese. This is a reduced fat feta cheese. All right, I like to put this actually with my ground chicken, maybe some spinach, tomatoes, onions, garlic powder. Makes a nice meal. These are reduced fat mozzarella string cheese sticks, sometimes great for a little snack. This is 2% milk Mexican blend cheese. Can sprinkle, you know, on my taco salads or anything. Bacon. All right, this is turkey bacon, which is usually leaner than regular bacon. Can also be a great source of protein. And then of course you have like your protein powders, right? Your like whey protein. This is an isolate whey. And then currently I mentioned my waffles that I make, my protein waffles. Currently I'm making them with this PE Science Select protein because it is a snickerdoodle flavor, and just the flavor on the in those waffles is delicious. But most time my like post-workout shakes and stuff I'll make with either this whey or this isolate whey, which we don't always have this one, but we do right now. So those are just some examples of the protein sources that I eat a lot. So typically my clients have trouble hitting their protein, right? And sort of a recommendation is, at least if you're lifting weights and working out regularly, is to eat about at least a gram of protein per pound of your body weight, right? So for some people, right, that can be a lot of protein and they're not used to eating it. So one thing that I recommend is just try upping your portion sizes a little, right? So like if you're making an omelet or scrambled eggs or something, you know, add an extra egg or add an extra serving, right, of egg whites. Instead of eating 4 ounces, you know, of ground turkey at lunch in your salad, taco salad, something I like to eat a lot, make it 5 ounces or 6 ounces. So just by like upping the portion sizes of your protein a little, you can get to your protein goals. Okay, so the last group that I'm going to go over is the fats, and where can you get some of your fat sources. So I just put out some things on the counter. Your oils, nut butters are great sources, have lots of fat. Oh, I forgot one thing. This here, my favorite fruit. Avocado is a good source of fat, but you will also get fat from your proteins, right? Your meat sources, from eggs if you're eating the whole egg, right? And you also will get some fats from your cheese. So that's where I have to be careful. Like I said, I like to put it on everything, right? Other times, my fat sources come from oils. Okay, so you can cook with all different kinds of oils. Olive oil is very common. This is canola oil, which I don't use very much. But one that I really love, and I actually only have the spray right now, is coconut oil. And like I use this spray on my waffle iron when I make my waffles in the morning. Right? Oils are a great way to get in some healthy fats. Also your nut butters. I know a lot of people have allergies to them. I never have, and no one in my family does. And I absolutely love peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter, right? Any kind of nut butter, which is another great source to get fats from. So my favorite right now is this P28 white chocolate high protein spread. It is fabulous if you haven't tried it. I also have the P28 cashew caramel turtle flavor right now. This is just regular creamy peanut butter, right? And this is PB2, which is a powdered peanut butter, and it is actually pretty low in fat. So if I don't have enough room, but I want that peanut butter flavor, right, I'll choose to use my PB2. Butter is also higher in fat. I actually don't have, you know, regular butter or a butter spread, but I love the flavor of butter, and so I use this, I can't believe it's not butter spray, which actually has 0 fat, and it says it has 0 calories per spray, but I'm not completely like convinced that that's true if I like douse something in this, that it has 0 calories, but that's what it says. So those are just a few examples of how you can get your fats. So like I said, your meats, right, are gonna have fat also. Cheese is gonna have fat, and a lot of other things, right, have fat in them too in small amounts. And so it usually all adds up. I hope you are enjoying the video so far. I'm going to walk you through how to use the IIFYM.com website to calculate your macros. This is the website that Dr. Lane Norton suggests using, and it is where I first calculated my macros over 1.5 years ago. To start the process, it's a good starting place, and then you can kind of adjust based on your results and your goals. What I'm showing on the screen now is the web page. You can see there are other articles and options for you to read about if it fits your macros, to, just have some other information and stuff. You can see at the top there's a spot for IIFYM calculators, and you are going to choose the first option, which is actually called the IIFYM Calculator. There's a couple ads and stuff. You're going to scroll down, and the first thing that you're going to do is calculate your TDEE, which stands for your total daily energy expenditure. So first you're going to choose female or male. I am using a fictional character that I have named Sally Joe. She is 35 years old, and so I entered the age 35. You can enter the number directly into the box, or they have a little slider option. You're going to select your height. You have the option of doing imperial or metric measurement. If you're in the United States, you're going to use imperial and put in your feet and your inches. I would just round to the nearest inch. And you're also going to enter your current weight. Sally Joe is 140 pounds. Now, this next part is very important. You have 2 options for the formula that you're going to use, the total body weight formula or the lean mass formula. Choose the total body weight formula. It is way more accurate and closer to the macros that I would actually come up with for you. You're going to select the activity level of your normal daily activities. They give a little bit of a description for each one based upon sort of what your day job is. You're also going to enter the days per week that you exercise, anywhere from 1 through 7. And also, just below that, you're going to enter the minutes per day you exercise. And they're saying to also include the time that you do any cardio. I don't do very much cardio, but I do spend probably about 10 minutes, I guess, warming up, and then about an hour lifting. I just entered basically the same amount of time for Sally Joe, which is like 60 or 70 minutes each time that I go to the gym to exercise. They're going to ask you about the intensity, the level of intensity when you work out. So they have an option for a light. Moderate is that you're working out, but you can still like have a conversation with someone, but it's still challenging. There's difficult with like you need a lot of rest, you have an elevated heart rate, and then there's a really intense option. Once you select all those options, it's going to give you your BMR and your TDEE. Your BMR stands for basic metabolic rate. It is basically the number of calories that your body would burn even when your digestive system is inactive and you're expending no energy whatsoever. So basically, like you laid in bed all day and you didn't eat anything, and so not even your digestive system is working. Your TDEE, which I mentioned earlier, your total daily energy expenditure, is basically the calories you'll burn in a 24-hour period. It factors in your exercise and your work and daily activity plus what your BMR is. Step 2 of the process is going to be choosing your goal. So you have the option of cutting, which is burning fat, right, and losing weight. You have the option to maintain sort of the level that you are right now, your current weight. You wouldn't be losing any fat or gaining muscle. You have the option of bulking, so putting on weight, hopefully in the form of muscle mass, lean body mass, and those are really your three options that you have. So once you've chosen your goal, you have the option to reset the whole calculator, but if you like what you chose, you're going to click display my macros. And this is a lead capture website, meaning they're trying to get your name and your email and they want to sell you stuff, right? It's free, but you do have to give them your email. So I typed in my name as Sally Joe. I typed in my real email because it's not going to work unless you type in an actual email. So this is my work email, Mandy at mandynicolefit.com. You're going to click on the little box under that. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it just shows that you are a real person who has filled this out and is submitting this, and then you can click on Give Me My Macros. They will send you an actual email, but if you stay on the screen will change and give you the option to select your nutrition plan. It is already pre-selected as IIFYM for you, but you can see that there's other options like the zone diet, a low-fat diet, a low-carb diet, ketogenic, like an Atkins diet. But the most important part is the part you see to the right where it says protein, fat, and carbs. If you were not aware that in your protein sources, right, in protein there are 4 calories per gram of protein. In fat, there are 9 calories per gram of fat. And in a carb, there are 4 calories per gram. You are going to basically choose sort of the ratios of what those macros are going to be. If you lift weights, if you spend time lifting weights in the gym, protein is super important. It's important for everybody, but it's even more important if you're going to be lifting weights. And so what you want to do is you want to choose, if you do lift weights, you want to at least get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight or more. Currently, I am taking in closer to the 1.15 grams per pound, which is the option underneath that where it says custom. But 1 gram per pound of body weight is plenty. There's no actually data saying that taking in more is going to, increase your results of building muscle or keeping muscle as you lose fat. So it looks like for Sally Joe, I actually picked the little bit higher than 1 pound of body weight. Then you have the option for your fat ratio, right? Anywhere from 0.35 grams per pound of body weight, and then they have the option up to 0.45 grams, or you can enter a custom one. I have played with my fat macros more than anything else. You don't want your fat to be too little that you have trouble sticking to your macros, right? But you don't want it to be too high that you don't meet your fat macros. But also, the way this calculator works is basically the higher your protein and your fat macros are, it's going to adjust your carbs accordingly, and so they'll probably be slightly lower. So finding that right balance for your fat. I think I chose the 0.4 grams of fat per pound of body weight for Sally Joe. You can see the percentages that ended up 38% of her calories should be coming from protein, making it 151 grams. Her fat, 29%, and her carbs was 33%. Underneath that, they also give you that information just in a little table, and they include how much fiber you should aim to take in as well. Alright guys, so again, this is just one resource for you to sort of find a starting place for your macros. They can always be adjusted. This website is not the say-all, be-all, end-all of macro calculations. Alright, like I said, it's a good sort of jumping off place, and spend a week or two at those macros and kind of see how your body reacts. Hey guys, I never really film an outro clip just because they can be kind of awkward, but I really wanted to film one for this video for a couple of reasons. First of all, I just wanted to thank you for watching. I know this video had a lot of information in it. It's kind of long, and it didn't have some like cool workout or anything in it or full day of eating, but that's not really what this video was for. So thanks for sticking with me. The second thing is, I would like to hear from you. If you have any questions about this topic or any ideas for me to put in future videos on flexible dieting, please leave them in the comment section below. I want to know what you would like me to talk about and cover. I already have a few ideas myself for future videos. I think I'm going to make this into a series because there's just so much information to cover. So one of those topics would be how to track your macros, whether it be with pen and paper or if you use an app on your phone like MyFitnessPal, which is what I do. Second topic I'd like to talk about is how to use your scale and portion out foods, especially that don't come already packaged and with the macros labeled for you. And like when you're creating recipes and stuff, how you actually figure out the macros for those. So that's something that can be kind of challenging, especially in the beginning. And lastly, I know I want to go over a few recipes, sort of meal prep ideas for things that you can have ready in your freezer or in your fridge that are macro friendly. And how you can kind of meal prep and be prepared for that. So those are just some of the things that I know that I'm gonna wanna cover already, but if you can think of anything else, like I said, please let me know in the comments below. The third reason I wanted to film this outro is just because if you liked and enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click that thumbs up button, right? Click the little subscribe button at the top of my channel so that you're notified of future videos. Also, if there's anyone that you think would benefit from the information in this video, please share, whether it's on your Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, right? If you think that they could benefit from flexible dieting or from any of the information in it, that would really help them out. I want to be as helpful and informative as possible, and it also helps me out and my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.